got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need right here. Make me sing along. Sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me.
Good morning, you guys. I have a little bit of surprise for you. It's not common that a travel vlogger is going to a welfare organization. Today I'm going to visit the SPCA. It's a non-profit organization of abuse and cruelty of animals, and they only can exist by people dropping donations there. So for me it's very important to also visit this kind of organizations who do a tremendous good job in society for protection of animal welfare. So I hope to learn a lot, and they are going to guide us through everything, how everything is going to work, and maybe we see some animals that they are helping and assisting for further years to come. So it will be impressive for me to see how this non-profit organization is working for animal welfare. We're here at the SPCA. It's named SPCA Cape of Good Hope. So we're now gonna walk in and have a look at the beautiful non-profit organization,
I'm Tara
SPCA.
McGovern. I work in the communications department for the Cape of Good Hope SPCA. We've got an amazing facility here, which is the largest and oldest SPCA in the country. Our mandate is to prevent the cruelty towards animals, so our inspectorates go out every day to ensure that we can stop cruelty in any form, protect animals that are in distress or neglected or abandoned. We also have an amazing facility that includes an adoption centre, a hospital which provides services to people that can't normally afford the services of a private vet, and we also have an amazing farmyard and a wildlife centre. So I'm going to take you around and you can learn about what we do every day and hopefully chat to some of the people who work here and see how much it means to them to care for all these centre. It's one of the largest in the country and no doubt the largest adoption centre in Africa. We're very proud of this building. It opened in 2016. We underwent a really large redevelopment because we knew that it was so important to have a facility that would last for the next 30 years and you know, be a flagship for the work that we do. While our core mandate is preventing cruelty to all animals, our secondary mandate is to ensure that we try and find homes for so many of these rescue animals. So we're going to go inside, have a look at our adoption centre. We're very proud of it. It's quite a advanced welfare setup compared to a lot of other welfares in this country. We've got biosecurity in place to ensure that the animals are always kept healthy. We've got an amazing design which ensures that all the animals you know, experience minimal stress while they're in the kennels. They can interact with each other, and there's always access to light and nature for them to not feel that they're confined. We have an incredible network of volunteers who come every single day and they walk all the animals. Obviously not the cats just chill out and have a wonderful time in their beautiful cattery. So I will take you inside and you can have a look for yourself. This is Nastasia. So she'll be dealing with people that come in every day wanting to inquire about how they can adopt. We've got an amazing setup here where we have a vet shop as well. So we like to have income generating projects within the SPCA so that we don't just rely on donations from the public. We receive no money from the government. Everything is privately funded. In terms of marketing we do ourselves, challenges we do to raise money, and then things like our vet shop and a charity shop which bring in money every year to help us actually support the work that we do. So I'll just take you here and you can have a look at our in-house vet shop. So here, basically people can come in when they adopt an animal. Hello. And they can come here and purchase anything from toys, medicine, and all the funds go back to the SPCA to care for the animals, which is really wonderful. So yeah, it's basically like any other vet shop you'd find, with really wonderful brands of food that will look after your animals. And then I'll take you around the corner and we'll go to our charity shop. So the charity shop, as I mentioned, is another way that we raise funds. And we have wonderful people who donate regularly. They donate anything from furniture to electric goods to clothing. And again, it's just another way to raise money. And in a year, between the vet shops and between the charity shop, we bring in about 2 million rands, which is incredible. Often they're little knickknacks that people don't need anymore, but they really, really serve an amazing purpose to raise funds that we so desperately need. To actually run the organization, just this SPCA in Cape Town, costs us 36 million rands a year. So we've got to always come up with really innovative ways to market the SPCA and to make sure we can actually cover our costs, because it's an incredibly expensive organization to run, but we manage to do it every year because everyone here is so passionate. And this is Christina. So she runs the charity shop, and makes sure that she kind of deals with all the huge amounts of things that come in every single day, and she manages it and cleans it out and then decides how much we're going to sell it for. And it's also a lovely way to get people in the local community to come to the SPCA, see the work we do, and then they can come and find bargains. So everyone wins.
That's a good situation.
It is. It's a lot of hard work, but it's worth it. Okay. Michelle here today. Wednesday. Hello.
Morning.
This is Chanel.
Good morning, Chanel.
Morning. Welcome.
Thank
Enjoy
you.
your time here with us, eh?
It's always a pleasure.
Oh,
I love the SPCA and what kind of work you do. Yeah.
Tell them what you do.
I do adoptions. So I make sure all doggies' paperwork is in order, and I get to see them all go home and go, yay! Bringing you home.
Yeah. No, great job, you guys.
Thank you very much, eh? Thank you. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so the first section of our adoption center is our cattery. Our cattery is beautiful. It's a little bit more kind of decorator inspired compared to the kennels for the dogs, because cats are a little bit more elegant and they don't tend to eat their beds. So I'm going to take you in and you can have a look at all the cats and kittens. Bit of a smell because it's the morning, but they're cleaning it up. And we've got an array of beautiful cats and kittens here. And we're lucky, there are so many cats that need homes and they don't all find them. But cats are a little bit easier to adopt out because you don't need a garden, you don't need to necessarily walk them every day like a dog. So they're a little bit less high maintenance than a dog might be.
And a dog is also costing more money, huh?
Yeah, although cats actually come with their own issues and they need sometimes a few more vaccinations. So initially cats are a little bit more expensive because of some of the diseases they could carry. But we do tend to move them out quite quickly. Morning! One of our volunteers going by. So let's have a little walk through and we can just say hi to all the cats that are here. So there are lots of kittens because we kind of, obviously with the onset of spring, it becomes kitten season and puppy season and pony season. But the volunteers and the lady Alison who we might meet, they take such wonderful care of the cats. Cat people are a different kind of people. They're bonkers in a very good way. These cats are very lucky and we'll keep them as long as we can until we find them homes.
Good morning.
These two are my favorite at the moment. They're so beautiful.
Yes. You're amazing cats.
It's like a perfect picture. I think they've all been adopted, which is wonderful.
Yeah, it's great to see how you guys treat animals here. They have a good place here.
And kind of acclimatized to being at the center. So they get to have a lot of fun and play. And the volunteers play with them so they get used to socializing with people. Because obviously when we want to adopt our animals, whether it's a cat or a dog, we want to be sure that the animals are well adjusted, friendly, and used to humans. So we do a really, like Chanel who you just met, she'll make sure that we always adopt the right animal with the right person. There's no point adopting a dog that's maybe high energy to someone who never wants to go out and hike.
And when people adopt a cat or a dog here, you always stay in contact with that person?
Yeah, we do. We always do a follow-up check 6 months to a year later just to make sure that they're all happy, but we'll liaise with them if they've got any worries just to make sure that they're all settling in. And when we do that really intensive matching, it just means that people won't come back and go, it didn't work out. We want to make sure that once that animal's adopted, everyone's happy.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking if it isn't a good match.
Yeah, it's also a lot of stress for the animal when it comes back to your adoption center, right?
So the adoption process is really easy. All you have to do is you come in, you pay R100 deposit to say that yes, I want to adopt, and that eliminates people who maybe aren't serious. And then you come in and you'll say, oh, I like the look of that dog or cat. We'll then chat to you, find out about your life, and then we'll say, okay, that's a good match for you. And then you do a meet and greet if they've got any pets, just to make sure everyone gets along. And then basically within 2 weeks, there'll be a home check. They'll pay the rest of the adoption fee, which is 710 rands for a dog and 770 for a cat. And then that's it, you get your animal. So it's actually a very quick process. But we are very stringent in terms of what we expect from owners. You know, we want people who adopt from us to be able to afford their own private vet.
Of course.
You know, we have a hospital here which is phenomenal with amazing vets, but we also want people to know that that hospital is for people with limited funds. We want it to be for people who really need it. So if you adopt an animal from us, you've got to be prepared to care for it at a private vet. So things like that might seem unfair to some people, but it's to ensure that people do take on the responsibility, knowing all the kind of requirements and the financial requirements that are needed. Otherwise, lots of people will adopt animals and then in 6 months they'd realize, oh, I can't afford it, I can't afford the vet. So we've got to make sure we protect the animal's future with the right person. And most people understand that and they appreciate it. So it's worth it for the animal.
If you want to have an animal, you must take your responsibility for it.
That's it. As simple as that.
It's a living animal, you know. So
exactly. It's not a toy you can give away.
No.
Yeah. But we're going to go into the adoption center with the dogs. It's quite noisy, so I won't talk. But yeah, this is a building we're really, really proud of. There's nothing like it in the country. I don't even think they have facilities necessarily like this in a lot of places around the world. So we love it. It's beautiful. The dogs are happy. They've got amazing staff who work here every day, interacting with the animals. So yeah, we'll go in and we'll see the dogs that are available for adoption. So we just wet our feet just to make sure we take any bugs or parasites off us. But all the animals in here are vaccinated, healthy, so they're all ready to rock and be adopted. Morning!
morning.
And now luckily he's up for adoption, so he's my favorite at the moment.
It's a shame, man. How people can treat these animals like that.
Yeah.
Amazing. a quick question. If people come here to adopt a dog, do you introduce them to the dog and then you see if there is a connection between
Definitely,
them?
yeah. No,
That's quite...
it's like a delicate relationship. So what we do is we have our adoption officers who know the dogs, they work with them every day, and then when they're matching, they'll kind of determine, just in terms of the family, are there children, is the dog active, is it maybe too bouncy for a little person with a toddler? We'll decide, you know what, if we don't think it's a right match.
When they already do have a dog, do you advise them to bring them together?
Yes, we advise them to bring the dog here, and also if they've got cats. So we want to make sure that the dogs here get along with the cat, and if it doesn't work out, then we have to say, you know what, it's not meant to be. Maybe look, no, it's okay. Then maybe look at another dog. And that just makes sure that in the long run the animal's happy and the owners are happy, because we could adopt a dog out to someone who wants a husky and then they realize, oh, I actually can't handle a husky, and then they're frustrated. So we won't do that. We're not going to try and adopt a dog.
But also when there are people here for the first time who have a dog, they cannot have a pit bull or a Rottweiler as first dog, you know?
No, we make sure.
And many people make that mistake. Oh, I want to have a dog, so I take a breed of a Rottweiler.
Yeah.
But they're getting very disappointed because they don't know the character of that.
Absolutely, no.
They are very dangerous dogs for beginning.
Absolutely, like there are certain breeds where, you know, they are strong breeds, they are power breeds, so you've got to be sure that the person is prepared to train them regularly to make sure that if they've got certain pets, they know that that dog will get along. You know, even just ideas of like, sometimes you can't keep same-sex animals together, it's better to have a girl with a boy. So we're very, very stringent. We would rather keep a dog here, as harsh as it sounds, than adopt it out just because we want to adopt it. It's not fair to the people and it's not fair to the dog. So like you said, certain breeds are not right for certain people. You can't get a dog just because you like the look of it. You have to understand the breed, you have to know their history, and then you have to know that you're prepared to, for a husky, walk them for at least 2 hours a day. Have you got the time for that?
And a husky, you cannot release them because they are predator dogs, you know? If they see a cat, they go behind it. So.
Yeah, even a beagle, they'll just smell something and be gone. So you need to know what you're getting into, and that's our job, to educate people and go, this is probably the better animal for you. And in the long run it works, because we don't get people bringing their dogs back here, which is a win. It's a win for everyone.
Yeah, of course.
And also when someone adopts a dog, then it means we've got a free kennel for another dog. So when you adopt a dog, you save another life.
It's better for you guys to have that all the kennels are empty, eh? It sounds a little bit strange, but that's the case, eh?
But they're never empty, unfortunately. But one day, hopefully, when people realize they need to stop breeding dogs, one day.
That's a problem, eh?
This way, which isn't really a public area, it's for volunteers and people who work here. So this is now taking us to the two other kennels, which are the same design, and basically the next kennel that we're approaching is pre-adoptions. So all the dogs that are potential adoption animals are now in this kennel, and they are getting all their vaccinations, their health checks. They're getting worked with daily to make sure that they are actually really happy, healthy, well-adjusted dogs. We have to be realistic that if there is a dog with serious aggression issues, we unfortunately can't, in good conscience, adopt it out, because it could potentially bite a child, it could hurt another dog. So it's a very hard decision for the people that work with the animals, because all these animals are wonderful, but we have to also be realistic that, you know, there are not enough homes for all the animals in need. So we have to put through the dogs that are the healthiest, happiest, you know, best candidates for adoption. So it's a very hard job emotionally with the people who work with them and know the animals, because all animals, you know, even an aggressive animal, they're beautiful animals, and there's a reason why they're probably aggressive. They probably weren't ever treated right, and they weren't trained, and it's really unfair that we have to make these decisions sometimes to decide we have to humanely euthanize an animal. But in the long run, when you see what does happen to some animals, unfortunately euthanasia is an option, and it's often the kindest option. But in this kennel in particular, we're now just waiting for them to get all their health checks, and then they go through to adoption. So these are the guys waiting for the adoption center, which is really good. And then we've got our quarantine kennel. The quarantine kennel could hold anything from strays that come in, people handing over dogs that they can't keep anymore. You know, we're not going to judge someone if they can't keep an animal. We'd rather they do the best they can and bring the animal to us rather than, let's say, dump an animal on the side of a road. It could also be animals that were involved in cruelty cases. It could be animals that have been brought to us from law enforcement. So for instance, if there was dog fighting and people were arrested and there's a court case pending, then law enforcement brings those animals to us. Quarantine is kind of, you know, it's a kennel where you don't know if the dogs are all going to make it out. Some of the dogs are going to be there until a court case ends, and then the judge will decide, does an animal stay with us and we adopt it, or does it go back to its owner? There'll be some animals that are potentially harboring diseases, so our vets have to make the right choice for the animal, whether the animal gets treated or is humanely euthanized. And then for the lucky ones that can be pushed forward to pre-adoptions, then they will go through to pre-adoptions and hopefully be adopted at some point. But yeah, the quarantine kennel is a mixed bag of some of the sad stories that unfortunately we have to see every day. And with these particular dogs in here, we don't let everyone go into the kennel, because like I said, they might have certain diseases, and we don't want the diseases to be transferred. We actually have different staff that work in each kennel because we can't risk any diseases being transferred. Oh, beautiful. Hey, we go.
Hello. It's Shapaya.
Shapaya.
Very beautiful.
Educating the public about the work that we do, because I think many people have a misconception that dogs come here and if they're not owned dogs, if they're strays or abandoned, that there's a time limit. Like some people would say that, oh, it's 10 days and then an animal gets put to sleep, and that is a complete outright false statement. Every animal that comes here is treated on a kind of case-by-case basis. There are obviously some animals that come in on the day and a vet will decide, oh, this animal is suffering so much, we have to make the ethical choice. But for dogs that are here, you know, we will keep a dog if we believe it has the option to become an adoptable happy pet. There's no particular time limit for an animal here. We decide that no, this dog deserves a chance, and they all deserve a chance, but also realistically we have to work with the vets and go, do we have 3 months to get this dog healthy in time? You know, those 3 months you could potentially save another 10 dogs. So there are hard decisions, but there's definitely no truth to this idea that if a dog comes here, it's got to be adopted within 10 days or 20 days. You know, we have some dogs that are here for 6 months. We will keep a dog if we believe it's a good candidate. We will keep it for as long as we can, so long as the animal is not suffering, so long as it doesn't get kennel stress. Because there are some animals that do unfortunately react very badly to being in a kennel environment, and that's where a vet will decide, you know what, it's not fair for this animal to be here if no one's interested in adopting it. So those are the choices, but every animal is treated on a case-by-case basis, which is really important.
Show the limits with you right now. So what's your feelings? The city's screaming, we're not coming home tonight. We're living quick in this world, gonna get it right now. People talk and tell what you wanna hear now. We only need the two of us together.